one of the world's most famous hackers, and one of the first. In many ways, his story shaped how we think of his kind. The media vilified him, the authorities hunted him, and they were all extremely scared of him.
Right.
Mitnick's story is about the advent of modern IT, about a kid who always wanted to be a magician. Most
Interesting.
of all, it's Catch Me If You Can, but with computers.
In the 1990s, I was the most wanted hacker in the world. You get that adrenaline rush from the accomplishment of breaking into the system or finding a security hole.
I don't know, chat. I get a rush in blooming adrenaline. That, in my case, I have no idea why that is. What the fuck? So, who hacked the kid who hacked America? The legendary story of the first hacker.
This video is largely based on the book Ghost in the Wires by Kevin Mitnick. It tells the story from his point of view, meaning some details rely on his personal recollection and can't always be independently confirmed.
Right, okay. It's one of these ones, is it? Becoming Houdini.
Young Kevin Mitnick loves watching magic tricks, but audiences fascinate him. Magic is about control. Magicians pull your attention where they want it, make you see what they want you to see. They take advantage of what you assume is true. At a magic show, people enjoy being fooled. Not so much in the real world, but it's equally easy, perhaps even easier than performing a magic trick when the audience knows there's a literal ace up that sleeve. In everyday life, people tend to be helpful, trusting. They want to do the right thing. One can use that, manipulate them, control them, make them do things they shouldn't, or spill secrets they should have kept to themselves. This is called social engineering, and soon, young Kevin gets really, really good at it.
You not only have to think about technology, you have to think about the people that use the technology, because it's usually easier to hack a human than it is to hack technology.
It's summer break in Los Angeles in 1975. Kevin is 12 years old. He spends the whole day riding the bus.
Why was he on the
Each
bus?
ride is 25 cents plus another 10 cents to transfer. It adds up.
Hey?
So Kevin comes up with a plan. He notices drivers carrying booklets of blank tickets. When they sell a ticket, they punch it with a special tool. Kevin needs both. So he sits near the driver and spins a story about a school project.
The need for that was what reason, Ginge? What was that need? What was the need then? I mean,
shapes into cardboard. The driver ends up telling Kevin exactly where he bought the hole punch. Well, that was easy. Then he follows the driver to the bus depot. Many drivers throw their booklets away after their shift.
There's a reason
Kevin
for
checks the
everything.
trash cans and finds tons of unused tickets. Now he can spend the whole day in the bus without paying a dime. But Kevin is just getting started. In high school, he meets Steven. With one call to the phone company, Steven manages to get the unlisted number of Kevin's mom.
Yes, hello?
Kevin is blown away. He wants to know how this works. Soon he becomes part of a community of early phone hackers, so-called freakers. They manipulate telephone systems to make free calls and explore how the network works. Kevin's interested in the technical side,
that's lovely,
but the social part of freaking is what really intrigues him.
See, because it's his fat cunt's fault.
Companies work.
We've got
So
hackers, is it? Brilliant.
Pretending to be a colleague. He asks about their departments, who has access to what, how employees handle requests.
Actually, no, I shouldn't say
What
that,
he's
really, should
after
I?
is access to unlisted numbers, the ones omitted from the phone book for privacy. One day, he manages to get on the phone with someone from the department responsible for omissions, the Non-Pub Bureau. Kevin pretends to be a certain Jake Roberts working for the telco company. The employee explains that unlisted numbers can only be shared with authorized staff, and Jake Roberts isn't one of them. Kevin's asked to provide an internal phone number where they can call him back. Obviously, he doesn't have one. But hanging up now would attract suspicion, so Kevin keeps the story going. His department manager was supposed to add him to an authorization list. He'll need to double-check. Kevin starts calling different departments, asking to be connected to a manager. This time, he's posing as Tom Hansen from the Non-Pub Bureau. He says he's updating the list of authorized employees and asks if the manager wants to stay on it. He just needs to provide his name and phone number. Finally, he calls a company technician and asks him to forward the manager's calls to an external number. Et voila! Kevin can now get the
for shit technology back then, right? He knew what he was doing. That's it.
Pub bureau to
I mean,
call him back and provide Bruce Springsteen's private number, just for fun.
It's
Kevin
bad.
is 17 when the head of security of the phone
You shouldn't
company
be doing
GTE pays his mom a visit. If her son doesn't
No,
stop
but I mean,
freaking,
it's
he'll
quite
terminate
sick
the
how
family's
quickly
phone
smart
service.
he is.
He doesn't, of course. Then, one day, another visit.
FBI.
This time, it's the FBI. They warn Kevin to stop messing with the phone company. Kevin is terrified, but at the same time, it's a thrill.
Hey!
As soon as the agent
I'd
leaves,
shit myself if the
Kevin is back to freaking.
FBI came knocking at me gaff.
Hacker stories like Kevin's show that computers get a lot more interesting once you understand how they work. With boot.dev, you learn coding by actually doing it.
The fact that we're getting a
Like
advert
writing a
this on
ton
it.
of code.
Yeah, no.
It's basically a programming course disguised as
No.
an RPG. You complete quests, earn XP, unlock achievements, level up your skills, and battle your way through Python, Linux, and
We're not
backend
doing
development.
this. Oh,
How's it going,
fucking
Thomas?
hell!
To the next level, really are.
A charming human.
Jesus
We talk about
Christ!
Cosmos months later. Kevin meets up with some freaker and hacker friends at a pizza place. They talk about Cosmos, a massive database used by Pacific Telephone and other major California carriers.
So it started
It
off
maps how the
with,
network is built
phones
and
it,
where the lines connect,
which is interesting.
making it easier to find weak spots and exploit the system. For freakers, this is the holy grail. The building housing Cosmos is just a few miles from the pizza place, so Kevin and two of his friends go check it out. Kevin takes the lead. He tells the guard he works there and wants to show his friends around. The guard buys it. They've analyzed Pacific
Hold on, how shit is security back then? I mean, come on.
Telephone operations for so long and called the department so many times, they know which room the Cosmos employees work in. It's room 108, and they manage to find it. Inside, they come across a folder with dial-up numbers for every Southern California wire center, along with manuals explaining how the entire system runs. It's a gold mine.
So
They
they've
take the
just
manuals
walked
with
into that.
But their secret only lasts a few days.
Oh, brilliant.
One of Kevin's friends can't keep quiet. He tells an old flame about the manuals they stole, and she rats them out to the phone company.
Oh, there's always
Kevin
one.
gets arrested.
There's always
He'll later
one.
describe how scared he is in that moment. At the time, he's still just 17, and as he's handcuffed, an officer supposedly yells at him, "We will teach you a lesson." Kevin is charged with burglary, grand theft, and conspiracy to commit computer
Jesus!
fraud. Luckily, he's tried as a juvenile. The judge sends him to a
Grand Theft, I swear that's... Oh no, Grand Theft Auto... Yeah,
juvenile
no,
correction
no,
center
no.
for a 90-day psychological evaluation, followed by a year of probation. All in all, he gets off pretty easy. This is his chance to stop, dial things back. But it isn't long before he's caught in the act again. This
Fucking
time,
hell,
Kevin
how
and
many
his
more,
hacker friend
son?
Lenny are caught in the computer lab at the University of Southern California. They were trying to steal the login credentials of all the students. A pattern emerges. Probation, arrest, probation. Kevin knows that something has to change.
Oh, he's gonna be in the nick. Addicted. Oh,
It's the
right.
mid-80s. Kevin's in his early 20s and trying to turn his hacker skills into an honest career. Of all places, he
honest
decides to apply for
career.
a job at
Oh,
a
wait,
phone
no.
company.
Okay,
And not just
interesting.
any company. He lands a job as a programmer at GTE. At first, no one realizes who they've hired. Kevin thinks he's finally on track. A solid job, doing what he loves, a legitimate paycheck. But
Right.
then he's asked to fill out a security form. After just 9 days, he's fired. They say his resume is inaccurate. His past is catching up with him. And it's easy to see why. It's the 80s and fear of hackers is on the rise. In 1983, the thriller War Games hits theaters.
Yeah, but surely, right, you're going to want someone who, if you know they've been done for hacking and they're working for your computer firm, surely you want him. Surely you boost him up in the career ladder, not
It's about a
fucking...
high school hacker who accidentally
Sack him.
breaks into a military supercomputer, nearly triggering World War III.
Lovely.
How about global thermonuclear war?
A wave of hacker hysteria follows. Headlines ask, how real is the horror of war games? After watching the
right.
movie, President Reagan reportedly orders his advisors to look into whether any of it could actually become reality. At this point, computers are still a mystery to most Americans. People who can hack into them don't have a defined image. War Games changes that. It puts hackers in the spotlight, casting them as dangerous, unpredictable, and even catastrophic to society.
Oh.
Kevin doesn't see himself as any of those things. Over the next few years, he drifts through boring jobs by day, but by night, he hacks. Together with Lenny, he's targeting a very specific company. It's their biggest challenge yet. You've probably never heard of DEC, but in the 80s, DEC is the second largest computer manufacturer in the world. One of its biggest successes is its VAX line. Relatively small and cheap enough that even smaller companies can afford them, these mini computers turn out to be real milestones.
That's interesting.
Kevin and Lenny take aim at their operating system. It's called the Virtual Memory System. They want to study its source code and find security flaws. And by looking at past fixes, they might be able to figure out how to sneak in their own back door, a kind of secret entrance into other people's computers. But of course, they don't have access to the VMS source code. It's well guarded. They need to get into the VMS development network. So Kevin falls back on what he does best: social engineering. Lenny taps into the building's phone wiring from his work. He reroutes his connection through a fax line belonging to another company. This way, outgoing calls can't be traced back to them. Meanwhile, Kevin is in a hotel near Lenny's office. He uses a payphone to call Lenny. Then, holding a different payphone to his other ear, he calls DEC. Posing as an employee, he convinces a DEC operator to run a show users command. This command lists everyone currently active and logged into the system. At that moment, Lenny is in the process of logging in. One entry shows Lenny as login and the device name. Then Kevin tells her to type in this spawn command. It quietly creates a logged-in process on Lenny's modem connection, using the operator's account. Now Lenny is inside DEC's VMS development system, a cluster of connected computers used to work in the operating system. And Lenny has the full privileges of the operator they just tricked. But there's security software monitoring everything that's going on. So they upload a tool that disables it without triggering an alarm. Instead of creating a new admin account, they hijack unused accounts and change their passwords. Now Kevin and Lenny can dig through the system freely. They comb through the computers and mounted disks. Eventually, they find one called VMS_source. Bingo. Next, they look through the emails of a VMS developer. Maybe he mentions vulnerabilities.
That's interesting.
In one file, they find an analysis of a modified version of VMS's login program, Login Out. It was developed by members of the German hacker collective Chaos Computer Club, and it's a backdoor. It changes the login system so it can secretly store passwords, hide certain users, and disable alarms when someone enters a special password. Kevin and Lenny build on the CCC's work. They improve the backdoor and keep adapting it to newer versions of VMS. Soon, they're able to install it on numerous VMS systems on DEC's global network. They essentially have access to any VMS system they want. But they're not after sensitive data. They want to copy the source code, just for laughs. Finding it isn't hard. Transferring it is. The source code is massive, so they compress and encrypt it. If anyone comes across it, it'll look like garbage. Next, they want to smuggle the code out of DEC's network. They look for systems in the network that connect to ARPANET, a military and academic network that will later become the internet. They use it to move the code piece by piece. But soon, they encounter another challenge. Storing the code in one place creates a huge risk of being detected, so they search for places where they can hide copies. One is a NASA lab. Using their backdoor, they get into the Jet Propulsion Laboratory's systems. JPL eventually realizes someone is in their network. When they find the CCC's backdoor patch, they suspect the German hacker group of gaining access. The news breaks that a German hacker group has hacked NASA. Kevin and Lenny are undeterred. They continue with their plan until finally they've transferred the entire source code. Next, they put it on magnetic tape, essentially ancient hard drives, so they can go through the code without fear of being tracked. In the end, Lenny and Kevin have roughly 30 tapes containing the full VMS source code. Kevin and Lenny could go on forever. They start challenging each other, making bets. Who's the better hacker? They both
there
work
it
at
goes.
companies using VMS.
There it goes, gambling now.
Whoever manages to break into the other's company's VMS system wins. The prize is always $150. A dinner at a fancy Beverly Hills restaurant.
There you go, look, gambling.
And Kevin often wins. So often that Lenny starts getting angry.
Oh, come on, Lenny.
At one point, he accuses Kevin of cheating and refuses to pay up. When Lenny doesn't pay his debt, Kevin comes up with an idea. He calls the company where Lenny works and impersonates an agent in the IRS's wage garnishment division. He claims to have a garnishment order and says that Lenny's payment should be withheld. When Lenny finds out about the prank, he doesn't find it funny at all. He's furious and he confesses to his boss about Kevin and the DEC hack. The two of them call DEC security. Eventually, the FBI is informed.
Oh,
A few days later,
he's in the
Lenny lures
shit.
Kevin to a parking garage. When Kevin gets out of his car, FBI agents flood in and arrest him. As agents let him away,
He's in
Kevin
the shit.
reportedly turned to Lenny and asked him, "Why did you do this to me?" Lenny answered, "Because you're a menace to society."
Oh, right.
Prosecutors hit Kevin with a
Interesting.
long list of charges.
Interesting.
A DEC hack, stealing data from the NSA, breaking into police databases to erase their records of him, even spreading false information about a bank as revenge for not being hired. The DEC claims his fun little adventure has cost the
Wow,
company
that's-
about $4 million. Kevin says he had nothing to do with most of these hacks. He thinks they're rehashes of rumors about him, anything to make him look dangerous. But the prosecutors go even further. They tell the judge that Kevin is capable of accessing America's air defense systems with a phone call and initiating a nuclear holocaust.
So I started laughing in federal court because that's nothing. I never heard something so stupid in my life. And the judge actually agreed with the government.
It's the late 80s now, a few years after war games. Most people still don't really understand what hackers can and can't do.
Wait, so because
Computers
of
in
that
general are still
film,
met with
it caused them to... That's
suspicion, since few people have one. Fear of nuclear war is in the air.
Take cover at once when you hear the attack sound.
So the authorities play it safe. Kevin is kept in solitary confinement while awaiting trial. He's denied access to a phone, and he spends most of his time alone. Time magazine writes that the phone in Mitnick's hands is like giving a gun to a hitman. The LA Times labels him a dark side hacker. The article also quotes Lenny. He calls Mitnick an electronic terrorist and claims he can ruin someone's life just using his fingers.
So then Lenny were
One
helping him,
investigator
so how
suggests
can he
Mitnick's
not be
computer might
getting done for
an
this?
umbilical cord to his soul. Eventually, Mitnick and the prosecutors reach a deal. He's sentenced to a year in prison, followed by 6 months in a halfway house. There, he's supposed to address his addiction to hacking.
Oh, is
By
that
the
what-
early 90s, Kevin is free, and he's serious about changing his life. Under the terms of his supervised release, he's forbidden from contacting other hackers. Finding a
Almost
job
thrown.
proves almost impossible. Every time he gets an offer, his probation officer has to contact the employer. That outs him, and he stays unemployed. Without hacking, there's zero thrill in Kevin's life. He doesn't feel intellectually challenged. He'll later write in his book, "There was no sunshine in my life."
I was so passionate with hacking, it came to be like somewhat of an obsession for me.
So when Kevin hears that a big super hacker named Eric Hines wants to talk to him, he calls him. Hines rattles off hacks he's pulled and well-known hackers he's worked with. Kevin is impressed and wants to hear more, but he has to be careful. He's on probation. Talking to Hines could get him into serious trouble. So Kevin decides to bring in his friend Lewis. He becomes the front man, doing most of the talking with Hines. On a phone call, Hines mentions a special internal testing system called SAS, used by the telco giant Pacific Bell. It can be used to monitor phone lines. In other words, to listen in. Kevin's never heard of it before, but he's instantly hooked. He wants access. Kevin does what he does best and manages to get in. Now he and Lewis can spy on almost any
Shit, I can hear one of my dog. I'm really baffled here.
private conversation within Pacific Bell. Hines is a strange guy. His calls go through a middleman. Hines is hesitant about giving out his own phone number, and he doesn't appear to have a job, yet he's always talking about hanging out at expensive clubs. So Kevin and Lewis want to meet him in person.
So he
They set
does
up
it
a
for
meeting at a
money.
burger joint. Once they arrive, they don't have to look long. You can't miss Eric Hines. He looks like a rock star. Kevin and Lewis don't trust
Interesting.
Eric, and they make that very obvious. They place handheld scanners right on the table. They even sweep Eric's body with an RF detector, checking for hidden microphones.
Good girl.
It picks up nothing. At first, the conversation is cautious. Neither party wants to reveal too much. But eventually, Kevin and Lewis tell Hines that they've already made it into the SAS system. To prove it, Lewis pulls out a floppy disk and inserts it into Eric's laptop. Hines is stunned. He warns them to stay away from SAS or they'll get caught. Kevin is suspicious of Hines, but it's
This is
clear he
weird.
knows a lot about hacking, and he seems to have a master key giving him access to every phone company's central office. Despite his suspicions, Kevin decides to stay in touch with Hines. The contact is just too valuable. Maybe they could trade information at some point. At this point, Kevin has crossed several lines. Again, he's violated the terms of his supervised release. He's back in regular contact with hackers. He's hacked into another phone company's system. And his gut tells him something is off. Through a series of calls, he finds out his phone is tapped. Who's listening in?
Oh,
And why?
shit's hit the fan.
Maybe this has something to do with Hines. Kevin tracks down Hines' apartment and phone numbers. Then he checks in who actually owns them. Neither the apartment nor the phone numbers are registered to Eric Hines. They belong to a man named Joseph Warney. Kevin also gets a hold of another phone number linked to Hines under a different name. He calls the provider pretending to be Hines and says he's lost his phone bills. Could someone fax him copies? Customer service is of course happy to help. It seems that Hines has been calling the FBI.
Oh, he's shit it. He's done it.
Eric Hines. An informant?
He's gone and done it.
FBI agent? It doesn't matter. Whoever it is, they're on to Kevin. And if they catch him, he's going back to prison.
His paranoia is
Kevin's
the
listening
shit.
in on Hines' calls. One day, he talks to someone who sounds like an agent, and they mention a search warrant. Kevin immediately starts destroying evidence. He reprograms his phone and clones it to a new number. He takes his computer and boxes of disks to a friend's house. The FBI could show up at any moment. And they do. In late September 1992, the FBI searches his apartment, but they don't arrest him. 3 months. That's all that's left of his supervised release. Maybe he can still make it. Maybe they don't have enough evidence. After all, he wiped everything. Kevin makes a decision. He stays in LA for the 3 months he has left. If they come for him, so be it.
Right, so the thing is, why didn't any of, like, the FBI or the police or anything just use him as a way to fucking stop hacking or make sure nothing gets hacked? You know what I mean?
He's gone for good. He'll start a new life somewhere in the US. He's already thinking about which city he'll go to. Then his supervised release finally ends. Kevin Mitnick is a free man. For a moment, he's relieved. He learns that Hines is indeed a snitch, that he worked with the feds. He must have told the FBI a lot about him. And eventually, Kevin learns that there's another warrant for his arrest. His mother has been approached by agents searching for him. He has to run. But he can't escape what happens next. In just a year, his name will land on the front page of the New York Times. They'll call him a computer programmer run amok, one of the nation's most wanted computer criminals. He'll become cyberspace's most wanted.
Jesus Christ. All that because he loved hacking.
This is Tsutomu Shimomura. He's a researcher at the University of California's San Diego Supercomputer Center. Shimomura doesn't look like your typical scientist. With his long hair and shorts, he's a cross between computer nerd and surfer dude. His main focus is the physics of computing, but more and more, he's being pulled into cybersecurity. He's become a valuable expert for the FBI and NSA.
Right, here we go.
It's the final days of 1994. Christmas is over and Shimomura makes his way home from the airport. He's exhausted. But before going to bed, he realizes he hasn't checked his voicemails in a while. He isn't prepared for the message he receives.
Damn you. My technique is the best. My boss is the best. Damn you, I know artist technique. I know send mail technique. And my style is much better. Don't you know who I am? Me and my friends will kill you. Hey, boss, your kung fu is really good. That's right. My style is the best.
At first, Shimomura thinks this must be a prank call, but 2 words stick out to him: artist and send mail. They're basic system tools used to move files around and send emails. But hackers also use both to exploit well-known vulnerabilities in Unix systems. Whoever left the message must know a lot about computer security. Maybe this has something to do with a very recent hack. Just a few days ago, someone broke into Shimomura's personal network. On his network, Shimomura kept a collection of security tools, along with sensitive information about little-known bugs and vulnerabilities. Some of these were found on widely used systems. For a hacker, this information could be extremely valuable. What the intruders probably didn't realize is that one of Shimomura's machines was automatically copying records. These files were sent to a secure place in the network. The moment the break-in started, an alert was triggered at the San Diego Supercomputer Center. Within 24 hours, university staff kicked the attackers out. After being hacked, Shimomura and a student sought out the weak spots in his network and started fixing them. A few days after the first voice message, Shimomura gets another one.
Your security technique will be defeated.
But these are well fucking...
These
I'll
guys
be
are clearly
getting
baiting him.
And
But why? He's been looking into records of
some say nowadays that's rage baiting. That is by far, I would have gone nuts, mate.
the recent
Would have
attack.
gone nuts.
Trying to reconstruct it, he realized just how much of his data was stolen. Tens of thousands of emails, personal files, and source code for programs he's written. His security systems were bypassed using a technique that until then has been mostly theoretical: IP spoofing. The attacker impersonated another computer's IP address. When data travels across the internet, it moves in small units called packets. Each carries an IP header with information on its source and destination. In an IP spoofing attack, the hacker modifies the source address in the header. This makes the packet look like it originated from a trusted source.
Right, okay.
Shimomura contacts the Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT, about the attack. The group specializes in IT security. 2 weeks later, CERT issues an official warning about IP spoofing. The warning makes the front page of the New York Times. According to the article, many of the 20 million computers connected to the internet are at risk. Attackers could peek into systems and steal files. A few days later, the newspaper publishes a profile of Shimomura. He's considered one of the country's most skilled computer security experts. According to the article, he considers solving the crime a matter of honor. The press has created a cyber superhero, just as they created a cyber supervillain. And eventually, the two will go head to head.
Here we go, fucking round one,
In February 1995, Shimomura gets another weird voice message.
Tostomo, my learned disciple. Why you put my voice on the net? This is not good. Haven't I not taught you, grasshopper? You must learn from the master. I know all the techniques and styles. I know tiger claw style.
That is
I know
like pure fucking...
crazy monkey technique. And I also know artist and send mail. And you put my voice on the net? I'm very disappointed, my son.
Nah, mate, I would have gone
nuts.
nuts.
Who this strange caller is. So he puts his own hacking skills to use and starts working closely with the FBI.
I would have gone
One
nuts.
day, a user on an online hacker forum receives a notification. His account's storage is full. That's strange. He's barely used it. When he checks his directory, it's packed with mysterious compressed files and batches of emails. Someone must have taken over his account. Most of the emails are addressed to the same person, Tsutomu Shimomura. A student of Shimomura's goes through the stolen files and discovers a file named 0108.gz. It contains the credit card numbers of over 20,000 Netcom customers.
Shit, a
At
brick.
the time, Netcom was a booming internet provider in the US.
He's got in for
Shimomura
it.
teams up with Netcom to track down the person responsible. They discovered that the hacker used a Netcom account for some of the attacks. By cross-referencing login times from the online forum with Netcom's connection logs, they find a match. One user stands out as the likely culprit. The trail leads to Raleigh, North Carolina. Now they know the attacker's location, but they still don't know who he is. Then a Netcom technician has an idea. The company has a tool that shows what a user types in real time, a keylogger. It was originally meant for troubleshooting, but Shimomura and the team can now use it to observe the hacker's moves. It looks like he's logging into a chat program. There, he starts chatting with another hacker. At first, they discuss security vulnerabilities, but then the topic shifts to Shimomura, who's watching them in real time. The hacker has no clue he's being monitored. He's fuming over a New York Times article and the fact that his photo ended up on the front page. For Shimomura, this is the final piece of the puzzle. The person who attacked his server must be Kevin Mitnick.
So he's found out
February
it's Kevin.
15, 1995. Kevin's been on the run for over 2 years. He's applied to a number of jobs using a fake identity, but nothing came of it. He's at his computer, as always, when he notices that backdoors he's been using have recently been patched. Something's off. Like many other times in his life, it's the FBI. They ask if he's Kevin Mitnick. He says he's not. They enter and start searching his apartment. They go through his closet. In the inner pocket of an old ski jacket, they find a piece of paper. It's a pay stub made out
he's
to
fucked.
Kevin Mitnick. Shit.
Shit
The next day,
indeed.
Mitnick is taken to court. The room is packed with journalists. Shimomura is present too. Superhero and supervillain face each other in real life for the first time.
Go on,
The
here we go,
hearing lasts a
round
few
one.
minutes. Then Mitnick is led out of the courtroom. As he passes Shimomura, he nods and says, "I respect your skills." Shimomura nods back. Kevin Mitnick's arrest made headlines across the country for 3 days straight. Once again, he landed on the front page of the New York Times. A most wanted cyber thief is caught in his own web. The LA Times wrote, "To some, Kevin Mitnick is an electronic terrorist." His trial takes place in North Carolina, but California wants to prosecute him too. So he makes a deal.
Shit, a
He
brick.
pleads guilty to a single charge. The other charges in North Carolina are dropped and he's transferred back to his home state. In September 1996, he's charged on 25 counts. He's accused of hacking companies like Motorola, Nokia, and Fujitsu.
Shit, a
during
brick. I
his 2
forgot about
years on the road,
Motorola.
stealing software worth
Nokia,
millions.
oh my god.
The total damage claims eventually reach almost $300 million. As the trial goes on, support
Mad.
for Mitnick grows. The hacker community rallies behind him. Some question his guilt. a Free Kevin movement emerges.
Free Kevin.
Supporters believe he's being treated unfairly and that his case is being exaggerated.
Oh, right.
Author Jonathan Littman questions whether it was really Mitnick who broke into Shimomura's systems. He also doubts that Mitnick left the voicemails. On the day of Mitnick's arrest, Shimomura received 2 more mysterious messages.
Sutomo, my friend, I just want to reiterate, it is big joke. It is big, make fun of Kung Fu movie. So do not fly out to come and get me. I'm not worth it. Just make fun of Kung Fu movie. That is it. Thank you.
Fucking
Hackers
hell.
attack websites
Go
like
straight
Yahoo and
through.
the New York Times, leaving messages demanding Kevin Mitnick's release.
Chat, does anyone remember when Xbox got hacked and PlayStation and it shut the whole online down and everything? I was so annoyed. I must have been about 13 or something.
Others criticize a book about the takedown of Mitnick.
Good
They
God.
think the author, Jonathan Markoff, may have embellished the story. A film studio secures the rights to a movie adaptation. In March 1999, Mitnick accepts another deal with prosecutors. He pleads guilty to 7 of the 25 charges.
7.
Combined with his earlier conviction in North Carolina, he's sentenced to 5.5 years. By this time,
Hacking.
he's already spent 4 years in pretrial detention. What was once claimed to be nearly $300 million in damages is reduced to $4,125 in restitution. The Mitnick case becomes a symbol for America's hacker paranoia. Even after he's served his sentence, the restrictions on him are severe. For 3 years, he's banned from using any computers, no cell phones, not even a TV. The only electronic device he's allowed to use is a landline. He isn't allowed to take any job that involves access to computers, and even back then, they were everywhere. Just before his release, Kevin Mitnick appeared on 60 Minutes. For the first time, he spoke directly to the American public.
I saw myself as an electronic joyrider having a great time on the information superhighway. I felt like I was like James Bond behind the computer. It was a
Yeah, I'll go that far, mate. When you're not English and
Did it
two.
ever occur to you that perhaps what you were doing was wrong?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was an invasion of privacy. Going in,
How can
getting
American feel like
access
he's
to
James
other
Bond?
people's information is obviously a gross invasion of privacy, and it is wrong.
And that didn't bother you?
At the time I was doing it, no.
A con artist trying to make big money is easy to label. You can put him in a box. But for people like Mitnick, there was no box. Maybe that's what fueled the myth of him as the dark side hacker and cyber thief. On January 21, 2000, Kevin Mitnick walks out of prison. Technically, he isn't allowed to use computers for 3 years after his release.
3
But
years.
his probation officer starts making exceptions.
Hey,
Mitnick reinvents himself as a cybersecurity expert. Companies pay him to find their security flaws. He appears publicly as a specialist and writes several books.
he's gone
In
the
his
right way
biography,
then.
he recalls that a single word changed hacking forever: authorization. It magically transformed him from the most wanted hacker into one of the most sought-after security experts around. On July 16, 2023, Mitnick died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 59.
Oh, rest in peace.
Obituaries honor him as a pioneer and legendary hacker.
So,
Thanks again to boot.dev for sponsoring this video.
He
Check out the link in the description
changed-
and use code FIRM.
he changed hacking. That's mad. You know what? I actually enjoyed that chat. That was